Welcome to Women in Community. I'm Cecilia, and with me today is a dear friend, Dr. Linda Russell, and she is going to be talking to us about safe relationships. This month, I am so excited about talking about relationships and safety in relationships. And Linda is the owner of Breakthrough Counseling. And we have known each other for quite a while. And I'm so excited that you're here with us today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. I love talking about these things.
Yes.
So,
So we're going to be talking about developing healthy relationships. And so I'm just going to dive right in here.
just dive in.
And as a therapist, what would you say are some of the most important elements in a healthy, abuse-free marriage relationship?
You know, that's such an important thing to ask yourself before you consider getting married.
Very true.
And I think that that's probably, in fact, I don't know that I've ever heard that question asked even, in my field. Not in terms of an abuse-free relationship, but what's a good relationship? Well, that makes a whole big difference when you say abuse-free. That's very specific. Yeah. But I think just starting with the idea of what is a relationship is very important, because a relationship is an entity in and of itself. Mm-hmm. So a relationship only happens when there are two or more people involved, which means you've got all kinds of things to consider. If a relationship is going to be healthy, it is because there are healthy people involved in the relationship.
Exactly right.
Because in a relationship, you really have to be intentional and purposeful about creating a healthy relationship. So in order for that to happen, the people in the relationship have to be willing to make sacrifices and to do the kinds of things that are needed to cause that relationship to flourish.
Yeah.
So that means investment of time, money, sometimes, but mostly time, trust, forgiveness, and valuing the other person in the relationship.
That's a big deal.
That's a huge deal, because if we don't value the other person, then our behaviors are going to be completely self-fulfilling.
That's right.
Versus looking towards the other person. So if you do an intentional attention-giving of self and time to the relationship, then you're going to actually have a whole lot better opportunity for that relationship to move forward in a healthy way. So looking at a few things, actually, to compare, I like the idea of comparing that investment in your relationship to you're financially investing into something else. It's the same kind of thing. If you're going to invest your money, that is the challenge that we have in terms of what we're looking at. If we're going to invest our money, it better be in something that we are fully understanding about, that we understand any of the risks involved, and we've done research on that. Mm-hmm. Same thing with relationships. We need to know what we're getting into, and we need to do research over time to make sure that this is really what we think it is.
Yeah. That is so good. Because a lot of people can put up a real good front, can't they?
Absolutely, they can.
And, of course, the famous love bombing.
Yes.
Oh, well. Capitalize on people's kind of insecurities or neediness or...
That was the next place I was going to go. Absolutely. I wasn't necessarily going to bring up the love bombing part, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a lack of knowledge and understanding what a relationship is about that really gets us in those positions a lot of times where love bombing, as you put it, where a lot of gift giving or attention giving and that kind of thing, especially in the beginning, really attracts us to the relationship, because guess what? We have needs.
Yes, we do.
And so if our need, however, is so externally based, or we have to look out here to get that need met, we are very vulnerable to a relationship that can become abusive.
Right.
Because when we enter a relationship where we're looking to get our needs met, that becomes a problem. Because guess what? We're humans, and we are not going to keep that up for a long period of time, and especially whenever all of a sudden we're needy,
Yeah.
the other person is needy,
Yeah.
and we're not able to fulfill that need for them. Guess what? That's not a good thing at all. The other thing that happens too in a relationship where we've entered in because we're needy, whenever conflicts arise, communication challenges come up, and that kind of thing, we're looking to the other person to take care of that for us.
That's right.
Instead of saying, you know what, I've got to bring myself and my game into this situation and try to resolve these things. And that is not possible to do if we're looking for that other person to meet our need.
Right.
We will not be able to resolve that. When that occurs and the needs don't get met, then blame starts flinging everywhere.
Exactly.
Finger pointing, however you want to call it, happens, and that really opens the door up to some significant challenges and definitely could be abusive coming into that. So there's a big issue with that.
Yeah.
Another thing that I just wanted to bring up real quickly, that relationships can't be healthy without the love of God in them
so true.
and central to them.
Yes.
Because one of the things that occurs, especially when you come into a need-based kind of relationship, is there's so much pressure put on that relationship that the relationship then implodes, if you will.
Exactly.
So when we have the love of God at the center of the relationship, the pressure then is out here versus on individuals that can't hold up underneath that pressure. Yeah. So we begin to put the pressure on the word instead of the people. And then God takes care of that need versus the individuals trying to meet the needs. Because no matter how hard we try, we are not going to be able to meet the needs of the other person all the time, which is why it becomes unhealthy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And also today, we isolate so much, or we're so
Absolutely.
busy. And so we don't have other people around us besides our spouse to fill some of that need as well.
Absolutely so. That was one of the things, and I think part of, I'll get into in just a minute, but just to sum up real quickly, the things that you need to have in a good abuse-free, healthy relationship is recognize that the relationship needs that nurturing and that intentional investment of all the time, trust, and honoring the other person in the relationship.
Yes.
And they are as healthy as the individuals in the relationship.
Right.
Understand that the relationship needs can't withstand pressure to meet the individual needs all the time. And that when pressures of that miscommunication, conflict, major differences with each other puts that pressure on the Word of God to resolve it rather than on each other and on the relationship. And then knowing that relationships really thrive when individuals are free to love because they know the love of God.
Ooh, so good. And it is, when we find our identity and worth in God and are able to receive that love,
Yes.
that we have something to give instead of making that constant demand upon the other one and
Absolutely.
the blaming and, like you said, that dirt flinging.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much. That was
so welcome.
excellent.
Loved it.
Excellent. We have to do this again. So thank you so much. And I want to remind everybody that we have a conference coming up at the end of October 27th and 28th, where we actually are going to really dive into safe relationships. And you can go to our website at WIC Global, so WICglobal.net, at the event page and register. And thank you.